Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, to the men on the highways and the byways that are pushing out this word and truth and sincerity, and to the remnant men, women, and children of the elect. To you all, I say Shalom. My name is Ahmawan Ahyash, and I'm back with another lesson through the power and the spirit of Yahawashi. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. I want to do a quick lesson. This is going to be entitled, And Pray Ye Your Flight Be Not in the Winter, which is quoting the book of Mark chapter 13, verse 18, which I'm going to get in a second. And for those of us who are here in the New York City area, we just got hit with a massive blizzard, okay, up to 2 feet of snow. In some cases, in some areas, and this snow, the storm is pretty massive. It's pretty massive. You know what I'm saying? This is the type of snow, this is the type of storm or blizzard that will have you reflect on, will put you in a state of, survival mode. You know what I'm saying? Because I literally just came back, maybe like 2 hours. I came back, from outside shoveling, shoveling the snow and, trying to clear my car out and stuff like that. So, but I'm looking around, my whole block is outside trying to shovel, trying to clear up walkways and things of that nature. If they shut down school today. There was actually, let me get this picture. Okay. So this is the alert that all of us here got in New York City on our phones. All right. It says emergency alert extreme. Right. And again, this is the type of alert that when you get on your phone, it puts you in a certain space, a certain headspace. You know what I'm saying? Because this is one of them emergency alerts that, have an effect on everyone. Right. You could get this type of alert when, all hell breaks loose, some power grid outages or, just when it's all chaos out here, and this is what it reminds me of when I got this alert on my phone. It says NYCEM, which is New York City emergency. Mayor Mamdani has issued a state of emergency for New York City. A travel ban is in effect beginning at 9 p.m. This was last night, Sunday the 22nd, today's the 23rd, due to dangerous blizzard conditions. All non-essential vehicles are restricted from New York City roads until 12 p.m. on 12/23, which is today. Vehicles are only permitted for essential and emergency travel. All right. So again, this is the type of, they put a bunch of restrictions on, travel bans and, not being able to go outside. And, this is the type of thing. It makes me think of like COVID. It makes me think of curfews. It makes me think of just, the state of emergency. OK, that this place is actually going to go under at the time of Jacob's trouble. OK, but more specifically for this lesson, I wanted to go into, pray ye that your flight be not in winter, because when all hell breaks loose, right? If it's the winter time and let's just say there's a blizzard like this and, there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to hide. There's no shelter. Think about that. Think about all hell breaking loose. Think about it being a winter. Think about a blizzard taking place. And you are forced to be outside during a blizzard like this. Okay? You have to fixate your mind on these types of possibilities. We know the Lord is coming with a heavy, harsh judgment. All right? Namely for 2/3 of so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. All right? The rebellious house of the nation of Israel. All right? Those who are scoffed and scorned the words of Yahawashi, scoffed and scorned the prophets, blaspheme the names of Yahawashi. There's a heavy judgment coming upon the wicked of our people. All right? And we know that, the Lord said we will be as pilgrims on the earth. Right? So we'll be moving around, some of us, Lord willing, we're part of the number of the elect, though, but some of the elect, even the elect, will be as pilgrims, just moving around, being guided by the power and spirit. How about Shemal Shai? It makes me think of the book of Eli, how the Lord just guided them, The Lord just guided him. You know, he was actually blind, and you know, to me, it's metaphoric. You know, when you are moving around in such a hostile environment, because the book of Eli, that was like a post-apocalyptic movie, right? To where there was a massive apocalypse event that took place, and then everything was just through, right? They went back to a barter system, a trade where, you know, there was no access to real running water. There's no access to supermarkets, to food. They're like, you had to get it how you get it. You know what I'm saying? And again, this is the type of storm. This is the type of a blizzard that'll put you in that mind frame. Like, man, when all hell breaks loose, where am I going to be? What am I going to be doing? I'm going to need the Lord with me. That's the spirit it puts you in. You know? And this ain't no joke, man. Hey, this is the type of time, this type of blizzard that'll have you praying to Yahawashi and really, really focusing in on this faith, on this walk, on this journey, okay, on this path, seeking Yahawashi, serving Yahawashi, doing what you need to do. So, Lord willing, we're a part of the elect, man. All right, because man, being outside with no place to go in the winter in a blizzard like this can be suffering, right? So I just want to play these two videos, these two shorts, just to kind of get an idea of what's, you know, I typed in New York City storm update, and this is a couple of videos that came up. So check this out. It's a lot of snow. Check that out. Let me rewind that just a little bit. Look how high the snow is, right? That's how high the snow is. That's a couple of feet right there. You know, the snow is just as high as the guy's car. You know what I'm saying? And I was out there early and shoveling that, and I have an SUV, and that shit was up there. It was high. You know what I'm saying? A lot of snow. You know, so as you can see, you can't move around in these temperatures, in these conditions. You can't comfortably get from one place to another. So when all hell breaks loose, and this, just imagine if it's crazy like this, it could be, man, it could be catastrophic for you, and it could be bad for you, make you want to give up. You know, the other one here.
We are declaring a state of emergency and instituting a travel ban. The state of emergency closes the streets, highways, and bridges of New York City for all traffic. Stay inside, stay prepared, and stay safe.
Le pont de Goupil, on aimerait bien le faire à pied. Puis voilà, si c'est comme ça va pas le faire, hein, à pied, pont de Goupil.
No ir a la Estatua de la Libertad, tal vez, pero no sé, caminar por Times Square más tiempo.
As you can see there, it says forecast shows parts of New York region could receive 18 inches. That's almost 2 feet. 24 inches is 2 feet. You know what I'm saying? But it says 18. So that's, you know, it's a lot of snow. Check this out. It says the snow has already crippled mass transit, caused power outages, and prompted flight cancellations in the region. You know? So this is the type of stuff that, again, when all hell breaks loose, just imagine this happens and it's all chaos in the streets, right? Just imagine, man. Jacob's trouble in a massive blizzard, man. All right, so that's in on that. All right, so let me get this precept to start with this. Mark 13 and 18. It says, and pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, right? For in those days shall be affliction, right? Shall be troubling, shall be trouble, man. It's not going to be easy, such as was not from the beginning at the creation when the Most High created unto this time, neither shall be. In the NLT, it reads, and pray that your flight will not be in winter, for there will be greater anguish in those days than at any time since the Most High created the world, and it will never be so great again. So when Jacob trouble hits, right, there's going to be a greater anguish at that time since the Yahawashi created everything. All right. And imagine if it's in the winter when all hell breaks loose, and imagine if it's a major storm or blizzard like this, man. I'm talking catastrophic, right? So you have to keep these things in mind, right? You have to keep these things in mind so you can constantly be in the spirit of fearing the Lord and having faith and trusting in the Lord, you know? Because it may seem all good, especially for those of us who are in New York and, you know, been around since early 90s, where we've seen, you know, storms, massive storms, and we, you know, you get through it, you get through it, you know, and we're used to having to, you know, make the best of our situation, but there's going to come a time where that's not even a possibility. Making the best of your situation is not even going to be a thought, a possibility, because it's going to be the judgment of Yahawashi that's going to come upon this earth in Jacob's trouble, and all hell breaks loose, you know, and it's just going to be judgment after judgment after judgment, you know. So pray that your flight be not in the winter, man, because, you know, what are you going to do? What can you do in a situation like this? You know what I'm saying? What can you do when it's just massive amounts of snow? You know? You can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. Not you just are subject to just, you know, whatever you have at the moment, right? If your flight be in the winter and you out here on these streets, man, just imagine you got a book bag, and this is what I be thinking of sometimes. You got a book bag, man. You got some waters. You might have some shit in your bag, and, you know, just to hold you down. But that's gonna run out. No shelter, nowhere to get warm, no way to get, you know, fed, no way to get, you know, to seek safety. You know, it could get real bad out here, man. All right. It's the book of 2 Thessalonians. Slakia, 1 Thessalonians. Chapter 5, verse 3. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. All right. So that point, you know, again, we're a resilient people. All right. And you might be thinking, oh, we just going to let the storm pass. It'll be all good in a week or two or whatever the case. But again, there's a time coming where that idea and that mentality is not going to be, you know, is not going to be something that you can resort to. It's just going to be the sudden destruction come up, because that's how Jacob's trouble is going to hit. It could end up being some sort of EMP attack, a grid attack. It could be some sort of black swan event that just flips this society on its head. Who knows? You know? So for when they shall say peace and safety, then son of destruction come up upon them. And that's has to be your mentality, man. You have to think of the worst. All right? Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. As hopeful members of the elect, we're in the spirit of that. We're preparing for the Lord to put us through some shit, and we're hoping that the Lord is just going to be with us in that time. That's the faith. That's what we believe in, you know, because we out here doing the work. We out here, you know, staying faithful, enduring, going through troubling times, you know, going through our affliction, going through our trials while but still believing, while maintaining our integrity, you know. And that's going to be our hope in these last days, man, because ain't nothing else to lean on. Ain't nothing else to fight for. Ain't nothing else to, you know what I'm saying? What else I got? I got 2 more quick precepts, you know? So pray that your flight be not in the winter, man, because, man, it'll get rough, man. 2nd Ezra chapter 15. And we're going to start at verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Okay? And all types of hell breaking loose that the Lord is going to bring. And who knows what that's going to look like in those times. You know, when the Lord decides to drop that hammer, bring that hammer upon this world. Right? It says, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So you might be thinking, well, why? Why would the Lord do that? Hey, man, because wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, starting with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Right? The destructive nature that he has and what he's done to the earth and how he's destroyed the earth and all the evil that he's brought to this place. Right? A lot of our people, 2/3 of our people have done the bidding of the wicked and has forwarded his evil and wickedness, right? Continue to serve this man and his system. Continue to be a part of it. You know? So for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those days in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Okay. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the soul of the just complain continually. Our people got a lot to pay for, got a lot to answer for, man. All right. For being rebellious, for being stiff-necked, for not turning back to Yahawashi, for blowing off this message of repentance, for blowing off the warning that's been given, for serving false gods, for serving all these different idols, you know. The Lord ain't playing with Jake. The Lord ain't playing with Jake, bro. He going to deliver the elect. Yahawashi is going to deliver his elect. And that's what this is. That's what we out here to basically to tell you, you know, to warn the people that, look, there's a heavy judgment coming upon this earth. And that judgment is going to start with 2/3 so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. The Lord said he going to start at his own house, you know. But the elect of the nation of Israel is going to be delivered, man. And that's the message we got, man. There is no other message. Get right with Yahawashi or be a part of the street, or be a part of it, or be the dung in the street. You know? Oh, let me just get this, because I was watching the Elder Ahmawan Gabar's video, and it made me think of something that he was mentioning, because when all hell breaks loose, right? And let's just say, for example, you know, it's a lot of snow. And let's just use the same example. It's a lot of snow. There's no shelter. There's no way for trucks to get to the supermarkets. There's food supply chain issues. And, it's just all chaos, man. It could lead to a famine as well, and just imagine not having access to food, man, because those are the bare essentials to survive: food, water, clothing, shelter, right? Just imagine not having access to any of those. Imagine that there's no such, the supermarket is not even a thing anymore. You can't go to a specific place to get food, to feed your family, to hide for cover, right? These are the things that you have to meditate on, right? 2 Ezra 6:22 says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. All right, so this is very, very much a possibility. It's not a possibility. This is actually going to happen. It's going to be a time where, hey, them grocery stores, all right, no matter what, stop, whether it's Key Food or Stop and Shop, or, it used to be Pathmark back in the days, or any of these big, like the Costco's, the Walmarts, the, what's BJ's, all of these different, big, wholesale places that hold a lot of food, they're gonna be empty, and it's gonna cause chaos. Verse 23, it says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Okay. When these types of emergency broadcasts come, right, and it looks like this, or it's an emergency broadcast that says, look, man, MOTB, you know what I'm saying? You gotta take the C-hip, or the EMP, the grid, or whatever it is, man. These are the types of These are the type of emergency broadcasts that people are gonna be suddenly afraid, right? That's the type of trumpet that's gonna sound, and people shall suddenly be afraid, all right? Because we're blowing the trumpet in our own way right now, giving the warning, letting you know there's a time of it's a time of war, that's coming, right? Verse 24, and at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So there's going to be enemies, friends going to turn into foes. All right. Scriptures say they of their own household shall become your enemies, roughly paraphrasing. Hey, the Lord ain't playing, man. All right. So this is the warning that we continue to bring out. All right. If the Lord is with you, you have the Spirit on you, you got to take heed to this. I'll read this last verse, verse 25. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. And who is that? That's the elect. All right. That's the elect of Yahawashi. That's those who have made the sacrifices and have hearkened unto the word. Right? And have put in the work and believed and endured, trusting in the names of Yahawashi. That's what that salvation. That's who the Lord's salvation is for. All right. So I'm gonna leave it there. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.